What is up, you guys? Thank you for tuning in to today's video. So for today's video, I was gonna do the whole thing where I sit down on my car like right here and then I stand in front of the camera, but it is super hot outside today, and if I let the camera sit in the sun, it's gonna overheat. So I hope you guys don't mind me walking and pacing around and all that stuff. So today's video is gonna be about why I'm swapping out my 2JZ for the 1JZ. Now, I thought it was pretty clear why I was doing it, but from the comments I see that there's some misconceptions, and before I tell you guys why I'm actually swapping it, I'm gonna clear up some misconceptions that I see inside the comments, because I see a lot of people are a little confused. So let me try to clear this up the best that I can. Now, the stuff that I'm about to say, I'm not a 2J 1J expert, you know, I'm just like going off the things that I know. So if there's anything that I say that's wrong, or if I left anything out, please feel free to comment down below, so you know, just a heads up. All right, so the first misconception that I'm going to tackle is that the engine that comes in these are the same engine that comes in these. So basically what I'm saying is this engine is not the same as this engine. And you are also wrong if you think that this engine is the engine that comes in the Supra, but I'll get into that later. And I know you guys are gonna say, well, obviously, Bobby, the IS300 is non-turbo and the one that comes in the Supra is turbo. But you would still be wrong, because even if you slap a turbo on this, you will not get the same result as this. This here is a 2JZ GE. This right here is a 2JZ GTE, meaning turbo. With or without the turbo, these are two different engines. Basically, this right here, the block is weak, you know? The pistons and rods, they are different sizes, they're made different, and they just can't take as much power as a GTE can take. And now you guys are gonna say, all right, Bobby, what about the GE that comes in the non-turbo Supra, right? I seen a post on Facebook of this dude selling his IS300. He said that the engine is the same rare engine from a Toyota Supra, and that is also wrong. You sort of gotta be careful when you're posting that kind of stuff, because first of all, when people talk about the engine out of the Toyota Supra, people automatically think you're talking about the 2JZ GTE. So no more saying the IS300 has a Supra engine. And even if you're talking about the non-turbo engines, you would still be wrong, because the non-turbo Supra and the IS300 have two different 2JZ GEs. 2JZ GE that comes in the Supra is actually different from the 2JZ GE that's in the IS300. Now, the SC300 and the Toyota Supra actually share the same 2JZ GE, but the GS300 and the IS300 over here, those two share the same 2JZ GE. Now, the difference between those two is the ones that come in the GS and the IS, those are actually VVTi engines, and then the ones that are in the Supra and the SC300 are non-VVTi engines. Now, when it comes to VVTi, the way that it works, not the way that it works, but the way that it is with engines is sort of from a Honda guys, the same way VTEC works with different engines. You know how the D16Y7 is non-VTEC, but the D16Y8 is VTEC, or how the K20A3 is non-VTEC, but the K20A2 and the K20, I think Z3, those are VTEC. So that's how it sort of works. But the difference isn't only one has VVTi and then the other doesn't have VVTi. The non-VVTi blocks are actually stronger than the VVTi blocks. The rods are bigger and they could take a little bit more power. So I've heard that the GEs that come in the ISs and the GSs, those could take around like 300 to 350 pushing it. But I heard that the non-VVTIs, those could actually take 400 to 450. Some people even push 500. So like that's the main difference there. Now let's get into the GTE engines. So one misconception is that this engine right here is the same engine that comes in the Supra. Now you're partly right, but you're still sort of wrong. So the engine that you're looking at right here is actually a 2JZ GTE VVTi. You can sort of tell by that little hump that's in the front of the valve cover. That's how you know which engine has VVTi and which one doesn't. When it comes to the JZ engines, I don't know about all the other engines with the VVTis in them. Now the difference is this engine came out of a second generation Toyota Aristo straight from Japan. Now the engine that's in the Supra is this right here. As you can see, the front of the valve cover is flat, so that's how you know it's a non-VVTi. Now this engine right here came in the first generation Toyota Aristos from Japan. So all this time when you guys have been looking at these IS300s with the 2JZ GTEs in them, I'm pretty sure 95% of the time you were looking at a second generation Toyota Aristo engine. Now I think the 2JZ GTE VVTIs actually came out of only the Toyota Aristos, but I could be wrong. So if you're looking at a 2JZ GTE with a flat cover in the front, then you're looking at a Supra engine. But it's sort of technically still a Toyota Aristo engine, but just from the first generation. So this right here is not rare, and it is not a Toyota Supra engine. I wanted to explain that because a lot of people in the comments, they're like, dude, why'd you swap out a 2JZ for a 1JZ? Like I was doing something stupid or something. Nah, like I have a really good reason for doing it. Basically, this is weak, you know, you don't want to build this. I mean, if you're gonna be swapping out the pistons and rods and stuff, yes, you could do that, but yeah, this you're not really doing much with this, all right? So that's why you want to swap it out. I know a lot of people like to call this the four-door Supra, but if you really think about it, I would say that the Toyota Aristo is actually a four-door Supra. Now this right here is my 2JZ GTE VVTi, not to be mixed up with the 2JZ GTE non-VVTi. As you can see, the VVTi has the more rounded cover, I guess you would say, and I think it looks a little bit more stylish. And the non-VVTi has the boxy, sort of plain, looking like a harmonica valve cover. Another difference is that the VVTi engine comes with a single turbo, and the 1JZ GTE non-VVTi comes with a twin turbo setup. And these are two automatic drive shafts that I still haven't sold. I think I might have to just take these to the junkyard. So yeah, like I was saying before, people are asking like, Bobby, why would you swap out your 2J for a 1J, right? So this right here is turbo. That right there is definitely not turbo. This one here comes stock with 280 horsepower, which equals to about, I would say, maybe 230 wheel horsepower. And that right here comes with 215 horsepower, which comes out to around, I don't know, maybe 175 wheel horsepower if I'm lucky. And then the other question is, Bobby, why didn't you go with a 2JZ GTE? Like, that's the million-dollar question right there. So basically, the main reason why that I'm sure everybody knows why I went with the 1JZ instead of the 2JZ is because cost. The 2JZ is around $2,500. The 1JZ, you could find them from anywhere between $1,000 to around $1,600, $1,700. I got this one for $1,499. But like, I'm not saying that, you know, $2,500 was just way too expensive for me. I could have easily just, you know, saved up an extra $1,000 and then I would have had it right there. And people say that's gonna be cheaper, but you're gonna be spending the same amount as a 2JZ, which is sort of true, but sort of not true, because the same way I'm gonna have to put money into the 1JZ to get it to actually run in my car, you're gonna be putting almost the same amount of money into the 2JZ to get it to run into your car. So it's a whole give and take thing. Another reason why I chose the 1JZ is because everybody and their mama got a 2JZ, right? And like, that's like absolutely zero disrespect to any of my friends or anything like that that have 2JZs. All I'm saying is that why would you guys want to see another 2JZ build? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, why would you guys want to see another 2JZ IS, right? I'm pretty sure we've seen plenty of those. So like, that's another reason why I chose 1JZ, because I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I feel like YouTube has seen enough of 2JZ builds, maybe want to see more of a 1JZ build. Now with the whole which engine is better thing, the 1JZ or the 2JZ, that I'm not going to get into. That is uncharted territory, so I'm not going to do that. That's the reason why I'm going 1J. One, I'm getting rid of this because that is just not going to cut it. And two, the cost of a 1JZ is way better than the cost of, I don't know why I was so close. The cost of a 1JZ is better than the cost of a 2JZ. And like, you know, your boy's always on a budget. Maybe when I get around 100,000 subs, maybe then I'll start being a little more bougie. But until then, it's going to be straight up budgeting. Sorry for the short video, you guys. I'm still waiting on some parts to come in, but this whole 1J, I guess, build is going to be happening super soon. I'm just like waiting for 3 more things to come in, and I still got to get a downpipe. But speaking of the downpipe, my plan was actually to get the Future Fab downpipe, but it's actually going to be cheaper for me to get a custom downpipe made. And plus, with the custom downpipe, I'm also going to be getting a flex pipe done so I could replace the white pipe that's on there now. So I think that's just going to be the more cost-effective thing to do. So I'm not going to be getting the Future Fab downpipe anymore. I'm just going to get a custom downpipe made, and that's going to be getting done right when the intercooler piping is getting done also. So I think it's a win-win. Yeah, so right now I'm just waiting for the intercooler piping to get here, the fuel pressure regulator. What else? I'm waiting for the gauge pod, and I'm also getting the downpipe custom made, and then the welding for the intercooler piping. And then after that, this baby just needs to get wired up, and then we are all finished. One other thing though, I have to get this transmission off of here because I'm not going to be using it, of course. But one thing that's scaring me from taking this off is because when I was doing my manual swap, the torque converter still had a whole bunch of automatic transmission fluid in there even after we drained the pan. So I'm scared that this thing still has automatic transmission fluid in there. So I don't want to open it up here and then all of it spills out. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I also need to hurry up and get engine hoist because we're going to be doing this swap right here. So I have to hurry up and figure out where I'm going to get one of those from. I guess maybe I should undo one of the lines for the automatic transmission fluid, and then maybe then I'll see if there's some in there, but I'll do that some other time. But alright, you guys, so that's going to be it for today's video. I hope this was helpful and a little interesting to you guys, and I hope some of you guys learned something. If you guys enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel so we can hit 10K before the summer. And if this dog don't shut up, Jesus freaking Christ. And I'll see you guys for the next one. I'm out.
Money was coming slow, dreams they seem far. Here you won't make it from niggas who fell off. Goals they kept calling, so I had to pick up. If I wanna get paid, I gotta work hard, shine bright, day or night. HD, vision right, homie. dropping no names, straight bombs plus flame. That's the HD experience, thinking there's a better vision is funny. Eddie Murphy delirious.